Hey all, welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking Channel. I am Darren, of course, and today I'm going to fire up the M36 mother of all grills. We're going to use it to reverse sear some 30-day dry age ribeyes that I've done. And we're going to use the MeatStick and the MeatStick Mini to monitor the temperature of both the steaks and the grill. So stay tuned, guys. I'll be right back. We'll get everything set up and ready to go. I'm excited to try out searing on the M36 for the first time. I'll be back.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
Alright guys, so first thing I wanted to do is get my meat sticks set up. So I got both of my meat sticks ready to go. I'm going to use the MeatStick Mini to monitor the internal temperature of my wife's steak. She likes hers a little bit more on the medium well side, and I like mine more on the medium rare side. So her steak's going to be a little thinner, smaller. So the MeatStick Mini is perfect for that. Now the MeatStick Mini doesn't measure the internal temperature of the grill, just the steak. So the MeatStick, regular MeatStick, I'm going to use to monitor my steak, which is thicker, and I want it a little bit more medium rare, and it's going to monitor the internal temps of the smoker. So first of all, got that ready to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my fire going on the M36, because we're going to reverse sear these. So, all right guys, so here's my M36, getting it ready to go. This is my adjustable fire box. And as you can tell, this is the sear box here. And what this will let me do is load that charcoal up a good 3 inches or 2.5 inches higher than the regular charcoal grate. So it'll get it right up close to this top grate where I'm going to have the steaks when I sear them. But right now we're going to reverse sear them. So I'm going to get the fire going. I'm going to have my steaks over here on the other side to kind of slowly bring them up to temp while getting some smoke to them. And then we're going to let this thing get up really, really super hot, bring it back up to the top, and sear them off. So first of all, I got to get my fire going. So I'm going to use my sous vide gun to do that. You could use a grill gun, sous vide gun. You can light your fire any way you want. But to me, these guns do a fantastic job of getting the fire up and running really, really fast. All right, guys, so that's getting ready to go. Probably be less than 5 minutes, and that will be ready to have some meat put on it. I'm going to lower it down because I don't need it all the way up here yet. And I got my bottom vent all the way open. I'm going to go ahead and shut my top lid here. Put this over here. I'm going to shut this down and open my top vent all the way so we can get that fire going. And then once that fire gets going really good, I'm going to put a couple pieces of pecan wood on there, a couple small pieces, because I want a little bit of smoke to these steaks. So really should take only about 5 minutes to get it up to where I'm going to stick these steaks in, but I'm going to go finish prepping the steaks. By that time, they'll be ready to go on. All right, guys, so I got my 30-day dry age ribeye steaks here. These are from a roast that I got on sale during the Christmas holidays that I paid $6.99 a pound for a prime rib roast. Cut these, actually took the whole roast and dry aged it for 30 days in an Umai bag. And this is what we got. I just cut these, trimmed it up the other day. So I got one steak here that's kind of smaller and thinner. That's going to be my wife's steak. The rest of these are fairly thick. So I'm going to take the MeatStick Mini, and we're going to put that right dead center in my wife's steak. The MeatStick Mini is kind of a smaller meat stick probe, and like I said before, it doesn't have the ambient temperature reading, so it just reads the internal temperature of your meat. But the regular meat stick will read both the ambient temperature and the temperature of the meat. So I got one of the thicker steaks here. I'm going to put that in. We're going to put it dead center into the meat as well. and that's going to measure the internal and the pit temperature. So I had already seasoned these up with salt, pepper, and garlic before when I vacuumed them up after I trimmed them, but I'm going to put just a little bit more on here if I can get this to come out. Just a little bit more, not much. So I kind of like dry brine these for a couple days, but I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more salt and pepper and garlic on here. Very simple seasoning. It's all you really need, especially since this is 30-day dry aged. Don't really need a whole lot of seasoning. You don't want it to take away from that beefy flavor. So really, guys, just a little bit. And that's it. So these are ready to go on the M36, the smoker, to get a little smoke and cook them a little bit before we sear them up. So I'm going to go ahead and get these in the smoker, and I'll check back with you in a little bit. All right, guys, my temperature's almost up to 250. So I'm going to go ahead and back this down on the vent here at the bottom a little bit, and I'm going to back my vent on the top down a little bit as well. But I'm going to go ahead and put my steaks on, and I'm going to put them over on this side. I'm going to put the one I want more done closer to the fire, and the one that monitoring the temp of the smoker over right next to it, and then the other two I'll just kind of put right around there. So I've got plenty of room on this grill for sure. I could probably put another 10 or 15 steaks on here, but I'm going to toss a couple pieces of pecan wood so I can get some smoke. Just a couple small pieces that will give me that smoke I'm looking for. All right, turn this, close this back up, let that get going back up to temp, and then we can get some smoke to it. Then we'll sear them up in the sear box. All right, guys, I'm just showing you here on the meat stick. It's monitoring the external temperature there on the bottom at 147, and then in the middle of those circles are the interior of the meat. So the smaller steaks are showing at 73, the bigger steaks at 68. I had these sitting at room temperature for a couple hours before I put them on. So just showing you how I'm monitoring them on the meat stick. All right, guys, my meat stick is telling me it's time to get these things to searing. I'm going to move them over just a little bit for right now. You can see we got some nice color to them. My wife's is going to be perfect. I'm going to go ahead and get a little closer so you guys can see just exactly what I'm doing here with the sear box. See how it's down on the bottom now. I'm going to go ahead and crank that baby all the way up, right touching the grill, and that's what we're going to sear on. I'll be back in just 1 minute. I got to go grab something. I'll be right back. All right, guys, let's get these searing. I'm going to go ahead and put my wife's on here first, and you can tell, look how hot that is. I might even have to back that down just a little bit because it's a little too close there. That fire, that fat melting already. That's a good thing about being able to raise and lower this sear box too, is if it gets too crazy, I can lower it down. Look at that fat's melting. Look at that sear already. Awesome. Probably should have took the upper rack off, but can work around that right now. But look at that. Awesome. I think mine's done. I'm going to move. My wife's over here. Move mine over here. My meat stick's telling me it's too hot. The temperature, that is. All right, let's get these off and check them out. All right, guys, look at that. Perfectly seared. I'm gonna go ahead and cut into one. It's been resting here for a minute. Just as you can see the interior. Check that out. Medium rare for sure. Look at all that juice running out of it. I'm gonna take a bite of the spinellis here on the edge. Cut off some of that hard fat, but check that out, guys. See if the light's not washing this one out. There you go. Nice and medium rare, nice crust. Nice and tender. Got the smoke. Check it out, guys. That is how the M36 and the M1 can sear using their sear box. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Follow me for the next fire and water cooking video. I'll have more videos cooking on the M36 as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.